Hi everyone, I'm back here. All right, technical stuff, it happens. Good. This. My phone unexpectedly shut down, so I'm allowing everyone to reconnect. Let's put this here. Try to make this happen right. We're right. Okay. This is just weird. Okay. Thank you for your patience. It's tech stuff. It happens. So I'm going to summarize the first few minutes of the class so that we can delete the previous videos. Okay. While people reconnect. So pay attention inside to the Ahara Zaravani concept of last week. Or, in simpler terms, just consciousness from the heavens through you, overflowing all around you. Okay? All right. So, universal consciousness just overflowing around you. Hello again. Yeah. I usually pay attention to the amount of energy in my phone, and there was only 1% left. My bad. It happens. So this week's mudra, I'll repeat it, with the right hand is just a circle, like if you're holding the 10 planes of consciousness. You're holding a wheel with 10 studs or 10 aspects in them. Okay? And these represent the 10 planes of consciousness. So that's the mudra. You're just holding the 10 planes of consciousness. This is my right hand. Hola Inma. La semana pasada se cambia la hora de Europa, pero no América del Norte. Y mi clase es a las 11 del norte de América. Y solo la semana próxima va a cambiar la hora aquí. Entonces, así. So last week, Europe changed their hour, but in North America, it's only next week. So I give my class at 11, my 11, because a lot of people are on time. They're watching the current time. Okay. So, yeah, that happens. People are reconnecting slowly. So let's just keep going. I'm summarizing what I've just said anyway for the live people. In the period where these kind of mantras were written, they use an expression which is an army of something. Because when you have an army, you have a lot of individuals together, a lot of individuals. So it's a whole lot of people. If you consider a field of grass, you won't give attention to every specific blade of grass. You just see the field as one thing. If you have an army, you see an army, but you also can pay attention to each individual. Like each individual has a value in your equation, okay? So for that reason, when there is a lot of one thing, the expression an army of something means a whole lot around you. Organized, orderly, or chaotically, spread erratically, or according to the laws of nature. Okay. So, Senamaja, the mantra of this week is Om Senamaja Swaha. And the Siddhi Senamaja, Sena is an army, but not necessarily for a military function. An army, according to this this way they used to express it in the past. A whole lot of single things. And Maja is a blossom ready to open. A Lotus Sutra, usually a blossom, we speak of Lotus Sutra, is open to consciousness, open to the higher consciousness, with a root, a long stem through the water, rooted in the ground. Okay, so it's open to consciousness. Maja is a blossom that is getting ready to open or opening. Okay, so the process of provoking the blossoming effect of flowers, which is a symbol for Hindu Buddhists of awakening, producing awakening. Okay, Senamaja is an army of that awakening. Senamaja is like a field of these blossoms becoming aware. Okay, so last week, let me get the correct mantra for last week. So it's more than the Zaravani. O Mahara Zaravanina Vitara Bunidi. Okay, the generation of treasures. Okay, so this overflowing consciousness of last week that brings a lot of treasures, a lot of consciousness around. Senamaja is for us to visualize everything around awakening, but not like a big unified awakening, but like a multitude of individual awakening, like but a lot, and on all planes of consciousness. Okay, so that's the concept of Senamaja, the multitudes of awakening, symbolized as an army of blossoms. Okay, it's pretty cute, it's pretty poetic. An army of blossoms. It's nice. So ground yourself, paying attention to the body. We'll do the practice. When the mind is filled with other things, you can use a mantra just to ground. Manasvin nivedin garima shanti. That's an example. You can just think earth, Prithvi. Ground yourself. Be grounded. Okay? And open yourself to consciousness. And think that in the process of the MahaKaruna, we do everything in a row. Like we do every practice individually to learn and train. Eventually it's going to be a long ritual, everything in a row. Okay, so we just come from the Ahara Zaravani Navetara Bunidi. Okay, you don't need to remember last week's mantra. So we're just receiving all this consciousness coming through us and overflowing, producing so much richness and dharma around us. And in nature, awakenings happen. Okay, like millions of bubbles bursting with light. Try to be fantastic a bit, theatrical and fantastic in your visualization. But it's not just the imagery. The imagery is secondary. Remember how it feels when you have a profound awakening. Remember when you did your emotional integrations the first time? Or when in meditation finally something was revealed? Not that you heard voices, no. More like you understood something that you did not before that meditation. And you have a feeling of plenitude that we have studied lately also. The plenitude, the Chandra Bahum, if you remember. The feeling of plenitude in the mind. These great moments of awakening, feel that they are produced around you. The army of blossoms, the ocean of awakenings, the fields of revelations that are happening everywhere. That is Senamaja. So you're focusing inside in this plenitude mindfulness, flowing in the body and overflowing around you, and blah, 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 blah. Those blossoms just awaken everywhere. Senamaja. 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 From your practice, naturally your uncontrolled transmigration, your expanded consciousness awakens everything around you, in nature, in objects, in people. Like everything and everyone gets that feeling of awakening. Om Senamaja Swaha. And that is a practice for this week. So we'll take a mala. We'll recite it 108 times. Left hand mala, right hand holding the wheel of the 10 planes. Okay, you can see it as a sphere if you want, but the Chinese made a wheel to get the fingers all together. Okay, and feel the blossoming everywhere around you during the entire time. Om Senamaja Swaha. 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 We're going to accelerate a bit, okay? Om Senamaja Swaha. Om Senamaja Swaha. Om Senamaja Swaha. Om Senamaja Swaha. Om Senamaja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, Maja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, and you relax the hand if you want. Om Senamaja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, Maja Swaha, full of awakening. Om Senamaja Swaha, exploding awakening. Om Senamaja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, Senamaja Swaha, Om Senamaja Swaha, fields of blossom. Om Senamaja Swaha, armies of awakening. Om Senamaja Swaha, 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 Senamaja Swaha, Om 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 Senamaja Swaha, Senamaja Swaha, Om 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 Senamaja Swaha, Maja Swaha, Om Senamaja 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 Swaha, Senamaja Swaha, Om 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 Senamaja. Now as a city, Senamaja. Senamaja. From the mudra, relax your hand. It will lose the shape of the wheel, but you started with it, so it's okay. Senamaja. An ocean of individual awakenings, a field of blossoming treasures of consciousness, an army of blossoms, so many blossoming states of consciousness, awakening produced everywhere, inside, in every cell, in every organ, outside in every object, in every person, in every living entity. Senamaja. 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 When we do Siddhi meditation, we start with a few whispers, Senamaja, and then becomes in the mind. I recite it vocally constantly because I'm guiding the meditation and I'm hoping to bring you just on that phenomena. Okay, take a deep breath and come back. Senamaja. It's a short class this week, simply because I don't want us to lose the focus of that beautiful contemplation. From a state of plenitude in the mind that we brought through the body, overflowed everywhere, and now awakening is happening everywhere. See, the last few steps in a row produces that awakening. It just brings all that consciousness around and inside, everywhere. It's a beautiful thing. All right. When you do Siddhi meditation, especially when it's not a class, but you're just doing it out on your own, it's possible that your mind will interfere. It's okay. As long as you do your best to realize when you're fantasizing on something else, to come back to the mantra and to the state of being. And use some imagery. If you want to visualize something, use the imagery of these blossoms, flowers, of various kind of flowers, or lotus, if you're more fond of those, just opening up. Like the Utpalaka Naga, just opening up, the blossoming of consciousness from nature that rises. The more you feel the state of being, of that awakening happening everywhere, the less your mind will want to follow fantasies. But when it does, hey, it's completely normal. Until you have a decade of training in meditation, it's normal that your mind will wander off. Just realize it and come back. Okay? Senamaja. Profound awakening happening everywhere. In everything. Little, big, just a notion of it. A feel of it. An army of blossoms, revealing the treasures of consciousness. Wonderful. Thank you again. Thank you again, those who watch. Thanks for living the wisdom, for spreading it. Thank you, those who can afford it, to pay the monthly membership on my website. That allows me to live while I am not able to give seminars. And I'm looking forward to just complete the 42 MahaKaruna Dharani mudras and seals, and just do it in a row with you guys. It's going to be quite a fun class. All right, peace.